assets are not and cannot be money. The idea that assets are or can be used as money stems primarily from the gold standard, and the use of gold and silver as a form of currency. And gold has an intrinsic worth, as the silver is easily transformed into coins, and these coins can be made multiples of each other. So it's easy to create a currency that is generally acceptable and retains its value compared to the other assets in the economy. The thing, though, that is said to be its strength, namely its inherent value, is its greatest drawback. There's a saying in economics that good money drives out bad, and people will tend to hoard gold if there's that opportunity. Of course, the poor will, of necessity, be more obligated to use their coins and spend their coins than would a rich person, which may seem fair enough, but think about it. If the poor are being forced to spend their coinage and the rich aren't, and the rich are hoarding it, the economy becomes limited in the transactions it can conduct because there's a shortage of gold. The gold increases in value compared to other commodities, which means inflation for the poor will increase because their products and services, what they have to buy, are increasing compared to the value of the gold. The gold is, in a sense, holding its value, but the amount of goods that you're getting for it is declining rapidly. The rich who are hoarding their gold are therefore finding that this store of gold that they have is giving them a great return on their investment, if you want to call it that. So the inclination to invest is very marginal. Why would you take your gold and spend it when the gold that you have is inflating in value and potentially is inflating in value far more than what it might be if you invested into a business? So therefore, the tendency, the inclination would be to not invest your gold, to keep it in your trunk or under your mattress or in a vault at a bank or wherever. But the inclination would be not to spend the gold. So gold becomes scarce, and this is always what the problem is. In the settling of Canada, one of the great problems Canada had was getting gold, because the market, the marketers for gold, the sellers of gold, or the investors, they preferred to lend out to the more dynamic States and English markets, because the return was better, the risks were lower. So Canada had a very hard time finding sufficient bullion with which to back up their currency. And this basic economic truths is why the world ultimately came off the gold standard. The more gold is used as a currency, the greater the temptation to hoard the gold. And so you're harming the economy. You're harming the regular mass of people. The investments aren't being made because hoarding becomes the investment of choice. What we have to realize is that when an asset is used as a currency, whether it be cigarettes or diamonds or shells or flint or any commodity that has a market value, it's going to become more valuable because not only does it have its commodity value, it's got its currency value. So the demand for it increases beyond what its actual value is. If you're using cigarettes for currency, people are going to want cigarettes not just to smoke. They're going to want it so that they can buy candy bars and liquor or whatever else that's available in the market to buy. So the value of cigarettes increases far higher than what it's worth as a commodity. And this is always the problem. So we keep trying to find a commodity that can be used as money. And we've got to the point like where we have a digital money. But digital money is still owned by the banks. So the banks, they have an accounting program, and they're actually renting out the use of this in the form of digital currencies. And it's still an asset. The digital credit card, the digital account, is still an asset belonging to the banks. And the more we use this, the more valuable it is to the banks. So what we need actually is a currency that is actually money. And what money is really only a measuring of value. It's a measuring tool in the same way a ruler or an odometer is. We don't buy miles to travel from one place to the next, and we don't buy inches to measure, a yard of cloth. It's just a measuring. It's just a unit of measure. So $1 is just a unit of value, and $1,000 is 1,000 units of value. So all that we need to know is that when I buy this table, it cost me 400 units of value. But why do I need to go somewhere and get 400 units of value? Why do I have to buy them? I know this is strange and it might be hard to get your head around, but if I am a productive unit of society, a productive individual, then I am creating value. So I'm creating my work, my life, my time, is creating value. And that's can be, and what the product of what I'm doing can be given units of value. So it's just a matter of taking these productive units from my credit account to the debit account. It's just buying a table or a food or whatever is just a process of transferring accounts from one column to the other, from the debit to the credit column, or from the credit account of my credit column to my debit column. So when I produce, and this production is input into society, I get credits. I get units of credit. My credit column increases in units of value. And when I buy, my debit column goes up, taking units from my credit and going into my debit. If it's just buying and selling, it's just a matter of debits and credits going up and down. It's just transferring credits and debits from one column to another. There's no need to buy enough dollars to match the units of value that this table is worth. It's a completely unnecessary step. And this is the key to creating the digital society. A digital society digitalizes barter. So instead of trading this table for a couple of sheep, I trade this table for digital units of value.